What if the reason you feel lost is not because you are failing, but because you spend too much time watching everyone else succeed? Think about it. How many mornings have you opened your phone and immediately looked at someone else's life, someone else's success, someone else's happiness, and slowly started believing that you were falling behind? There was once a young man, an ordinary young man with no special talents, no wealthy family, and no powerful connections. He only had dreams, big dreams, dreams of becoming someone, dreams of building a better life, dreams of proving to himself that he was capable of more, but every single day felt the same. He would wake up, look around, and feel as if the entire world was moving forward without him. His friends were graduating, starting businesses, buying new things, traveling, and building relationships, while he remained exactly where he had always been. At first, he tried to stay positive. He told himself that his time would come and that he simply needed patience. But as the months passed, patience slowly turned into frustration. Frustration turned into self-doubt, and self-doubt eventually became pain. Every night, he asked himself the same questions. Am I not good enough? Why does everyone else seem to have life figured out? Why am I so far behind? Nobody knew he was asking these questions, because on the outside, he looked fine. He smiled. He laughed. He pretended everything was okay, but deep inside, he was exhausted, tired of pretending, tired of comparing, and tired of feeling like he was losing a race he never agreed to run. Without realizing it, he became addicted to comparison. Hours disappeared while he watched other people's lives, other people's success stories, and other people's highlights. Slowly, he forgot to live his own life, because comparison does not only steal your happiness, it steals your identity. It convinces you that someone else's timeline should become your own, and eventually, it steals your peace. Days became months, and months became years. The young man started talking more than acting. He told people about his plans. He said he was going to change his life, become successful, and create something amazing. Some people encouraged him, some laughed at him, and some secretly doubted him. But nothing changed, because talking about change is much easier than creating it. One night, everything became too heavy. He sat alone in his room with no music, no notifications, and no distractions, just silence. And for the first time in years, he asked himself an honest question. What if the problem isn't the world? What if the problem is me? The question hurt, because deep down he already knew the answer. He realized that he had spent years chasing approval, trying to impress people who barely thought about him, explaining his dreams to people who could never understand them, and waiting for support, motivation, and someone to rescue him. Then suddenly, a powerful realization appeared. Nobody was coming, not his friends, not society, not luck, and not motivation. The responsibility belonged entirely to him. Strangely, that realization did not make him feel weaker. It made him feel free, because if nobody was coming to save him, then nobody could stop him either. The next morning, he made a decision, a small decision, but sometimes small decisions change entire lives. He stopped announcing his goals, stopped explaining himself, and stopped seeking validation. He became quiet, very quiet. People thought he had given up. They thought he had disappeared, but they had no idea that he had finally begun. Every morning, he woke up a little earlier. Every day, he learned something new. He exercised, read books, developed skills, and improved his habits. The progress was small, almost invisible. Nobody noticed, Nobody applauded, nobody cared, but for the first time in his life, he was keeping promises to himself. And that changed everything, because confidence is not built by talking. Confidence is built through evidence. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes proof that you can trust yourself. Every difficult day you survive makes you stronger, and every act of discipline slowly changes your identity. The journey was not easy. Some mornings he felt motivated, while other mornings he felt empty. Some nights he wanted to quit, and some nights he cried. He still had fears, doubts, and moments when he felt lost. But he continued silently because he discovered something powerful. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Motivation waits for feelings, while discipline creates results. Real growth is not exciting. It is repetitive, uncomfortable, and lonely. It means doing things when you do not feel like doing them. It means continuing when nobody believes in you. It means working in silence while the world thinks you are doing nothing. Months passed, and then years. Little by little, the young man began to change. His body became healthier, his mind became calmer, and his confidence became stronger. He no longer felt the need to prove himself or explain every dream. He no longer cared about everyone's opinions because he finally realized something important. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves. The prison he had lived in for years was imaginary, and the moment he stopped seeking approval, he became free. Eventually, people started noticing. They looked at him differently and asked questions. When did you change? How did you become like this? What is your secret? People thought it happened overnight, but they never saw the lonely mornings, the sacrifices, the failures, the self-doubt, and the silent battles, because people usually notice success, but rarely notice struggle. That is how life works. Every great transformation happens quietly. A seed spends months growing underground before anyone sees the tree. A butterfly struggles inside darkness before it learns how to fly. Human beings grow in silence too. One day, years later, the young man looked back at his old life, at the anxious and insecure version of himself who constantly compared himself to everyone else. For the first time he smiled, because he finally understood something beautiful. Those painful years had not destroyed him. They had created him. Loneliness taught him independence. Failure taught him resilience. Pain taught him wisdom. Silence taught him self-respect. Discipline taught him who he truly was. Life never became perfect. Problems still existed, and difficult days still happened. But now he had something much more valuable: peace, purpose, and confidence. Because true success is not becoming better than everyone else. True success is becoming better than the person you used to be. Maybe right now, you feel exactly like that young man once did. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you think it is too late. Maybe your mistakes still haunt you, and your failures still hurt. But listen carefully. Your story is not over. This chapter is not the end. You can start again today, right now, with one small decision. Wake up a little earlier. Read one page. Take one walk. Learn one skill. Keep one promise to yourself. Small actions seem insignificant, but repeated every day, they become destiny. Your future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through thousands of invisible moments. Moments when you choose discipline over comfort, growth over excuses, purpose over distractions, and silence over unnecessary noise. Because there is incredible power in silent transformation. One day, people who ignored you will notice you. People who doubted you will admire you. People who underestimated you will wonder how you changed. But by then, you will no longer need their approval. because you will have discovered something far more valuable: inner peace, self-respect, and the satisfaction of knowing that you became the person you once desperately needed. So disappear for a while if you have to. Heal, learn, build, improve, grow quietly, protect your energy, protect your focus, and protect your peace. Remember that extraordinary lives are rarely built in public. They are built in silence, one difficult day at a time, one habit at a time, one promise at a time. Focus on yourself. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Stay silent. And let your results make the noise. Because years from now, you will look back at this painful chapter of your life and realize that it was never your ending. It was the beginning of your transformation.